Hey guys, my name is Ryan and welcome to Overwatch Central. Before the Overwatch World Cup we sat down with Fusions to get his advice for any aspiring Reinhardt mains for Season 13. And today he's going to show you how you could dominate people in ranked matches like he did with the USA team. This guy doesn't need any more of an introduction, you can find all of his details in the description below. But if you did enjoy this video, do like it as it really supports the channel. So Fusions, when it comes to playing Reinhardt, why should people listen to you, where you're known for, and roughly how many hours do you have in Reinhardt in total?
I probably have around 1,000 hours. Obviously, I don't, well, more than 1,000 including scrims, probably a couple of thousand actually. I've played Reinhardt for a very long time. I was originally a Reinhardt one-trick back in when Season 1, Season 2, Season 3, before Winston really became meta. So yeah, I definitely have been playing the hero a long time. I kind of know my stuff about him by now.
Alright, and without further ado, get started with your tips and mistakes that you really wanted to highlight in this video.
Okay, so the first thing that I see a lot of people doing in lower ranks is a lot of Reinhardts will just throw out Earth Shatters randomly and just pray. And people will let you do that, but in general you want to be disciplined and not do that because a good Reinhardt will punish you. So what you can do in this meta, especially with goats, is you can do a 3-2-1 countdown with your Brig, and you can let the Brig stun them, and you can slam, and a countdown really helps synergize that. So you and your Brig can get a good slam off, and you will almost always get value out of your slams.
How important is a good Earth Shatter? Would you say it's the most important ultimate in the game right now?
Yeah, I think in high-level play, the Earth Shatter is probably the most important ultimate. Even more important than Grav and Diva Bomb combos, just because you can get more value out of it more consistently if you're good with your Rein and your Brig synergy.
Say if you're not running a Brigitte, do you have anything else that you'd recommend doing when you're trying to Earth Shatter?
You can also ask your Doomfist to uppercut a Reinhardt and slam behind the shield, or you can also look for a Sombra hack on a Doomfist, or obviously a Sleep is a classic one on a Rein. Anything that you can really see a Rein to a point where he's up in the air or he's not able to hold a shield.
It seems like there's a lot of emphasis on members of your team CCing the enemy Reinhardt. Is that really the only way to go about it, would you say, right now?
Yeah, I think ideally you always want to CC the Reinhardt, because like I said earlier when we were talking about it, it's really important that you play around your Reinhardt. A lot of the team, except for maybe the Zen or the Moira player, really wants to play around the Reinhardt and really help him or pocket him as much as possible. So if you mess up the enemy Rein, then it really helps.
When it comes to the Chargeability, I remember Numlocked a long time ago saying that you should just unbind your shift ability because you shouldn't use it. For the most part anyway, like what tips and mistakes do you see around the Chargeability?
When you're playing against DPS comps, I don't think you should ever charge, and in general I don't think you should ever be long range charging. A lot of people just pin all the way into the enemy spawn, and it's really a bad thing to do because it splits your team and it gets you killed. What is a good use of the charge in today's meta is goats versus goats. It can actually be quite good if you're both very short range to pin into the enemy team in order to split them. If they don't have a Zenyatta and they can't discord you in the backline. So if they have a Moira or an Ana healing, or maybe a Brig Lucio or something like that, you can just pin in and call for your bubble, and then it should be quite a good scenario.
One of the more difficult things that I find at least is knowing when to keep my shield up to protect my team, and when to drop it to start swinging and to maybe get some ult charge. It might be Sod's Law, but every time that I drop my shield to swing, the Zenyatta behind me gets headshot by something, he blames me. What tips and mistakes do you have about being able to get some damage done, but also not letting your team die with your shield down?
Against snipers, you obviously never really want to drop your shield because they can just get your backline if you drop your shield. But against compositions that you kind of want to swing against, you got to be careful for a Zenyatta. If the enemy team has a Zenyatta, he can get a discord on you if you drop your shield. But if you just walk in with your shield up, there's no way you can get a discord. So you don't really want to start swinging until you're close to that person. So just make sure you shield yourself in, and then when you're close to them, call for a bubble, and then start swinging it into the enemy team.
How about when it comes to playing up against an enemy Reinhardt? Say if they've got a Reinhardt that's just constantly swinging at you, is able to get complete free real estate on hitting you, and you can't really do much back. Would you just recommend trying to back out a little bit more?
I'd say you can back up initially and just try and ask your Zarya when she has her bubble up. If your Zarya is communicating her bubble, then you can push back in as soon as you have that bubble up. But firstly, you want to make sure you're healed up, your team is low, and if their Reinhardt overextends while you're walking back, then he's going to get punished by a discord or any sort of CC.
And I guess what you were saying with Zarya as well kind of works with Diva to an extent with defense matrix?
Yeah, you can coordinate matrix, but it can be quite hard in games, especially if people aren't talking. Zarya bubble is much easier to actually just call for and swing with.
Synergy is a really important part of Reinhardt's kit. There's loads of ultimates that he can synergize Earth Shatter with. So what kind of mistakes do you see there? I guess dedicating too many ultimates to a one fight must be one of them.
Yeah, definitely. I see a lot of players in the lower ranks when they're playing Reinhardt. They'll see a Graviton, for example, that their team has got with 4 people in it, and they'll already have 2 kills or something, and then the Rein will just run into the Grav and slam anyway. There's no need to do that. You don't need to waste your Shatter on a fight where you're 1 or 2 people up already. In this meta, especially with a lot of goats being prevalent, you can really just kind of use your slam when a fight is actually starting, but you don't really want to use it if you're already 1 or 2 picks up, because it's a really important ultimate and you don't want to waste it.
So I guess what tip would you have to synergize ultimates? What do you want to be meshing Reinhardt Earth Shatter with, other than Brigitte stuns and stuff like you said before? What kind of ultimates work well with it?
You can use your support ults to get you into the middle of an enemy team with a speed boost, and that can really help you to actually get behind the shield and slam, especially if they don't have a speed like a Lucio on the enemy team. You can always do that, and that can get you reliably into the enemy backline. There's not really any ultimate combos that can do that much with slam, except for an EMP, which obviously an EMP slam is a classic combo that you can really utilize in order to get a good slam.
But mostly you want to be using it on its own outright. Right?
Yeah, or with a Brig stun. Usually you should be able to win a fight just off of a Reinhardt Earth Shatter.
And finally, I guess the last major area to go over are some really notoriously awful heroes to run into. We said a lot about Sombra, Doomfist. What tips would you have for being able to deal with those high CC DPS heroes? And what mistakes do you see people constantly making?
So a really good thing that I like to do when I'm playing Reinhardt against a Doomfist, because Doomfist is probably the most frustrating hero for a Reinhardt to play against, is if you see the Doomfist pop his ultimate, you can shout at your team to just come as close to you as they can, and then you can shield around that Doomfist, and just get your team behind the shield, and then just move your shield to wherever the center of the Doomfist ult is, and you can block the whole ult from your team, and it's something I love to do in my comp games to keep my team alive. A mistake that I see a lot of Reinhardt players do, in lower ranks especially, is when you're walking into an enemy team and you see a Brig right next to you, or a Doom maybe, and then you try and shatter, even though the Doom can just uppercut you and or the Brig can stun you, because you're going to lose your ult there, or you're going to get knocked so far up in the air that by the time your ult comes back down, you're not going to slam anything. So just make sure you're not slamming when you see people really close to you that can just CC you or stop your slam completely.
And finally, any last things that you want to go over, and where can people find more of you to see some, no doubt, none of these Reinhardt mistakes that we've just gone over, but lots of the tips, I suppose?
If you want to see any more, obviously you can go to my Twitch. I stream semi-regularly on my Twitch channel. You can see what I tweet on Twitter. I often tweet rants about the meta and Doomfist especially, so you can find that there. Obviously you can see me play on BlizzCon, which will be very soon with Team UK.
And that's it for this time. Thank you very much for watching. Nice quick video to just go over some tips and mistakes that you want to be aware of for Season 13. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you next time.